Hey, St. Mark's, welcome to another installment of Webb Wednesday. It's been quite some time since our last one, so I'm very happy to be back with you today. Most of you probably already know that during Advent we are pausing our normal service of evening prayer on Zoom on Wednesdays, and instead we are doing an Advent devotion. And that's co-led by me and Janine Culligan. And so each devotion has two parts. We start with a practice of Visio Divina, which is a practice of prayerful meditation on a religious image. And then in the second half, Janine helps us to better appreciate the artwork as artwork. So she situates the piece in art history. She helps us understand what techniques were used in the creation of the artwork. And she helps us understand sort of the visual grammar that's at work in the art and how the piece of art is communicating meaning. So that's going on Wednesdays today and next week at 7:30 on Zoom. So I hope you'll join us. And for the rest of this video, I want to spend a little bit more time with the first piece with Visio Divina because I'm not qualified to do what Janine does. So what is Visio Divina? That's a Latin term that means divine seeing. And so, like I said, it's a practice of prayerful meditation on a religious image. And so, in Visio Divina, we give focused attention to a piece of art, most of the time with a religious theme. And as we are looking at this piece of artwork, we are also open to whatever the Holy Spirit might be trying to communicate to us through that piece of art. And after spending some time looking at this artwork, meditating on it, listening for the voice of the Holy Spirit, we eventually turn our attention to God and pray whatever it is that has come up for us through this meditation. So why might we be doing Visio Divina right now? Well, if we take a broader perspective for a second, we live at a time where we are absolutely bombarded with information on our devices. And most of the time, our engagement with that content is very rushed, it's very shallow, and we can look at virtually endless content, unlimited information for us to engage with. And a lot of the platforms that we're using are designed specifically to lead us to engage with what we're looking at in that way. And so in contrast to how we normally view things, Visio Divina forces us to slow down, to look at one single image for an extended period of time, and to deepen our engagement with it. And we're not just deepening our engagement with the piece of art, but that engagement also deepens our understanding of ourselves, our understanding of our world, and ultimately our understanding of God. So that's the broader view, sort of what it means to practice Visio Divina in this time and place. But we're also in the season of Advent, and I think that Visio Divina is especially appropriate in this part of the church calendar as well. The Episcopal priest Fleming Rutledge says that Advent is a time of preparation, and it's a time of preparation that makes special use of attention. She writes, "The uniqueness of Advent is that it really focuses us more than any other season, even more than Lent, to look deeply into what is wrong in the world and why the best laid plans don't work out the way we meant them to, and why our greatest hopes are so often confounded, and why things happen the way they do, and why sometimes it is so difficult to see where God is acting." And so in that quote, Fleming Rutledge lists a number of things that Advent is trying to get us to pay attention to, things about our world, things that are difficult about living in the world. And so if we're used to just always having a very shallow engagement with things, it's going to make it hard for us to pay attention in the way that Advent invites us to. But with Visio Divina, we're sort of retraining ourselves to give sustained focus, attention to things. And I'll leave you with a final quote from Simone Weil about attention in prayer and how attention often is nothing other than prayer. She writes, "Attention taken to its highest degree is the same thing as prayer. It presupposes faith and love. Absolutely unmixed attention is prayer. If we turn our mind toward the good, it is impossible that little by little the whole soul will not be attracted thereto in spite of itself." And so that ultimately, I think, is what we're hoping for in Visio Divina, is that through giving attention to these religious images, that attention turns into a form of prayer, and that the more we look at this artwork, but then hopefully anything, the more sustained attention we give anything, and we start to better understand it because of that, we start to understand it as part of God's creation. And once we see it as God's creation, we turn our attention to the Creator and give praise and thanks to God in prayer. So I'd invite you to come out. Well, not come out because it's only on Zoom, but join us on Zoom on Wednesdays, today and the next week at 7:30, and explore this practice of Visio Divina. God bless.